You get to we're going to get to record this, and you'll have the replay up in the Facebook group. Angelica, do you have the link for the Facebook group that maybe you can pop into the chat? So if you're not in the Facebook group, I'm going to encourage you to come on in. And so let's get started. Um, and I first just want to say this: congratulations. And I mean this, and I know it sounds funny, but I remember back when I was hurting and full of anxiety and overwhelm, frustration, anger, guilt, to take any time for me, I had tremendous guilt around it. I didn't even know where to go. Like I felt like I should be with my kids or my husband or working out or doing all these other things. And, so I take it very like I feel very honored that you've showed up here tonight and that are here for the week to put the week in, to put the work in this week. And I this what I create in this 4 days for you is transformation. You will absolutely transform some of your thinking and transform and let go of some of the energy that you're holding on to. If I were to charge for this course, it'd be about a $1,500 course. And you guys are here taking advantage of this fully free to you. And so I want to just honor you and really acknowledge, Roslyn, Lynn, Lisa, Laura, Lisa, for showing up here tonight and putting yourself first. And drop in the chat if you have a hard time putting yourself first. I already know this answer, but I just want to hear it from you. Yeah, let's see. My messaging is over here. Yeah, definitely. Always. It's so interesting to me. And so here's what happens when you put yourself first, you actually uh give yourself an ability to fill up and an ability to feel fulfilled, and then you bring that to your community, whether it's your work, your family, your friends, or whatever. And we're going to talk about that tonight. I'm just trying to get to my notes and something's there we go. I don't know why that was doing it like that. So um I want to give you so we are at rediscover your power and reclaim your confidence. This is something that I wanted so bad to do, was to really reclaim my confidence and really start to own who I am. So drop in the chat if you feel like you've lost who you are, or you don't know what you like to do. You don't know what you like to, if you don't know what you like to be for fun or anything, like you're just constantly searching for something and you don't know what it is, right? Drop in the chat if that I have no idea who I am. Yeah, totally lost. Yeah, so definitely we'll be sharing some ways to get connected. And so I want you to know the fastest way to healing and creating a life you love by stepping back into your power and being super confident is about reconnecting with yourself, reconnecting with who you are. So to get started, my name is Brenda. I'm your host and your coach this week. And I created this series because I was on a search, high and low, this is years ago, for something that was going to help me get out of my head, help me get out of the past that I was living in and truly love the present, truly love and appreciate the life that I had. And I don't know about you, but I have an amazing husband and I have 3 beautiful sons who do drive me crazy, by the way, but they're still beautiful and I love them. Um, but I was struggling with my weight. I was struggling with beating myself up, thinking, I had to do better. There was always better for me, something I should be doing something better, or, not feeling comfortable in my body, like just not feeling, okay with looking in the mirror. I was abusing food. I was abusing alcohol. I became an exercise bulimic. Anybody know what that is? So an exercise bulimic, instead of purging your food through throwing up, you purge your food by exercising. So I would work out 4 to 5 hours a day to get rid of all the food that I was consuming. And to be honest, I wasn't consuming a lot. um, and I was nowhere as comfortable in my body. I had a great life. but I didn't know what was stopping me from loving my life. I was lost in my own world, right? In my head, I lived in the world of shoulds. I should do this. I should do that. I should exercise. I should go on a diet. I should be a stay-at-home mom. No, I should work. I should homeschool my kids. I should put them in school. I should do everything naturally. I shouldn't do anything else. Like, I lived in a lot of shoulds because there was this huge disconnection where I numbed out all of me. And I think Laura and somebody else saying that they're totally lost. Rosalind, like, don't know who you are. That's where I was. I forgot who I was because I was so um covering up so many of feelings and thoughts and things that I didn't want to experience. So when I was younger, I was sexually molested and I was date raped twice, and the neighborhood kids did stuff that was not appropriate, and I decided in that moment that it wasn't safe to be me anymore. It wasn't safe to be who I was. And what that creates is confusion. What that creates is loss. What that creates is dis-ease in your body and constant um, tension between, like, oh, I want to have these great goals. Like, who has dreams and visions and like things you want to do and accomplish? Drop down dreams. If you have dreams of things you want in this life, dreams of how you want to feel, of how you want to be, things that you want to accomplish. Let me pull you up over here. Dreams, yes. And like things like just ways that you want to be. Like, a dream could be, and if you don't have dreams, what's stopping you from dreaming? What are you blocking yourself from dreaming? And that was me. I always had these dreams. I always had these desires to create something. My mom told me at the age of 5, I was dreaming about being rich enough to have a pair of shoes to go with every outfit. She said, I got on the kindergarten school bus and I said, Mom, I'm going to be a millionaire and I'm going to have a pair of shoes to go with every outfit. And so, but something happened that took that little girl and locked her in a box. And then I got lost and I lived in these like stories about what I should do. Anybody live in the shoulds, or is it just me? And it wasn't until I made a decision that it was enough was enough. I had hit my lowest of the low, and I'll show you a picture. Oh, shoot, it's across the room. I'll bring it tomorrow. I hit the lowest of the low, and I had decided in that moment that I had to do something different, or else I wasn't going to be there for my kids. Not that I was suicidal, but when I meant I wasn't going to be there for my kids, I meant that I wasn't going to be there emotionally, be there mentally. Like, I would just be like a body in the room type thing. And I was done. I was blessed. God gave me these beautiful, handsome kids. This is going back 10 years, 12 years, right? So my oldest is 15. And so, yeah, I had just had, I don't know how old, but I'm about 10 years ago. And so I was like, okay, I have to do something different. Who feels that way, that you have to do something different in your life because down this road that you're going right now isn't helping? Put different in the chat if you feel like you get to make a different choice in your life. You got to mute there. If you do come on mute, you will come onto the camera. Yeah, I had to do something different. Yeah. And so when I made that decision to invest in myself, it was scary. You heard me say, like, I did not put myself first at all. It was scary. It was nerve-wracking. I felt extremely guilty. And I was just like, how am I going to do this for myself? And I have three young kids. I was still nursing my youngest. And I was like, how am I going to do this? So I had all of this guilt. I didn't even think I deserved to spend money on me, let alone $1,000 or a couple $1,000. Like, who was I? Anybody feel that? Like, Who are you? Who am I to spend that kind of money on me when I have a family to take care of? When I have other obligations to take care of? That was me. I was actually a stay-at-home mom at this point. I felt like I had no income. I didn't have the right to ask for income. My husband was the breadwinner at the time, right? And I had to ask permission. Anybody feel that way? Drop permission if you feel like you have to ask permission to take care of you. That almost brings me to tears because that is such a common challenge that women have and you get to empower yourself, that you get to realize what you get to do for you. Yeah, have to ask permission to take care of you. It seems silly here in this conversation, but it's a true deepness, right? Like when I put it this way, it seems like, oh my God, I have to ask permission, but it's a reality for a lot of women. And so I had that difficult conversation with my husband, around investing in a program. I had that difficult conversation. You want to know what he said to me? I was a stay-at-home mom, so I had zero income. I was looking to invest about $3,500 in myself. And you know what he said to me? I have an amazing husband. Even amazing men can be harsh sometimes. He said to me, if you want to take this money and take from our family, then go ahead and do it. It was the hardest decision I ever made, but I gave myself permission to take care of me because I told you what, if I didn't, I was just going to be a body in the room for my kids. I had checked out. I had become an emotional eater. I hid in the closet. I packed on the pounds. I wasn't there with I resented my kids, the kids that I desired. If you were to ask me anything I wanted to be growing up, it was a stay-at-home mom. And I began to resent the thing that I wanted most in my life was to be a mother. That decision changed my life. That decision was the catalyst to creating my dreams. That decision made me realize how powerful of a woman that I am, and that I still get to bring this power not only to myself, but my family. Like it has been not just a decision for me, but I've been able to empower and invoke in my children and my husband this beautiful, connected, intimate family, living our dreams. Stepping into a leadership role of inspiration, of expansion and joy. See, you get to have a dream because when you have a dream, you have a why to move forward. And my dream was to be a mother like I truly wanted to be. And that was showing my kids that anything is possible in this lifetime. And I'm going to share with you this week, I promise you, by the end of this week, you will have awareness and change to help you heal and become your most authentic self as you discover the missing pieces of who you are and what's stopping you from really being you, so that you can move forward in your life and live being peaceful, calm, excited, joyful, fun. How about fun? Like, whoever thinks of fun when you're living in stress and anxiety and overwhelmed, right? But you get to go from stress, anxiety, overwhelm to finding peace, to realizing that you can really have fun every freaking day. And it doesn't take anything special to have fun, except unlocking all of the stories that you have up here, unlocking all the trauma in your body, changing your thought patterns, shifting your focus. So you get to be, I'm going to encourage you to not be a bystander this week. I'm literally gifting you a program that is valued at $1,500. So do not be a bystander. That's what's a bystander? So drop in the chat what you feel a bystander is. Anybody? Anybody? Those that don't have your cameras on, I know a couple of you said, I'm going to invite you to realize that this is a safe space. the more that you come in and allow yourself to be supported and be seen and be here, the more you feed the room, the more you help the room, the other women in the group, as well as myself, and you get supported. So I encourage you to allow yourself to be seen, allow yourself to come forth and be fully present. So yeah, bystanders watching from the sideline, someone who doesn't show up for themselves. And yeah, someone that just watches things happen. That's right. So I don't want you to be a bystander this week. This is an opportunity for you to be a participant, to show up fully here, play full out. Don't sit on the sideline, engage. I can tell you I've done this similar courses like this, and the women that show up, that engage, that participate, leave feeling amazing. And I can tell you people that come on the first class and hesitate to put their cameras on, start to put their cameras on because they want to fully participate. They feel safe enough. So my mission for you is to realize that you are in a safe, non-judgmental space where you get to be seen, be witnessed, be a participant in your life. Be a participant in your life. Oh, because you're migraine. Well, you have a legit, you're still participating. So um tomorrow you can put your screen on. So, Donna, um, Donna was someone who came to me, and she was a bystander in her life. She lived a life where people would tell her what to do. She didn't believe in herself. She didn't, she couldn't make decisions. She was constantly up in her head. She was doubting herself, doubting her life. She lived by herself. She was lonely and really had a hard time. And a hard time just stepping outside of work. Like she'd go to work and go home, go to work and go home. Like she didn't trust herself enough to do things. She wasn't participating in her life. She was literally by a bystander, letting her life go by. And she became part of our Fear to Freedom program. And she realized that the thing that she learned was to think for herself, to make her own decisions, to trust her instincts and believe that she deserved to be herself, to be with the person that she was destined to be, feeling that she was part of a community and being together with women in a sisterhood, not lone wolfing it anymore. Drop down sisterhood if you're tired of doing work and being on your own. If you're tired of of not trusting yourself. Yeah. Or maybe like Shannon. Shannon came to me stuck in her head, beating herself up every single day, thinking she should have been better, could have did better, was beating herself up for her choices from her past, didn't realize her worth. And after going through, work here, she dramatically changed her life. And one of the biggest shifts that she changed was her perspective on herself and her worth. Her confidence grew. She realized who she was. She didn't feel lost anymore. She felt loved and supported within herself, so she could bring that to her. She was a social worker. So she could bring that love and support to others. And she was no longer worried about losing jobs because she was finally who she was. Drop down, relate if you can relate to Shannon or Kathy, who feels maybe Kathy was very depressed. She was very depressed. She had gone to therapy. She could not get herself out of despair, right? She had totally lost who she was. She had lost her health, ended up had starting to have to walk with a cane. And she said it wasn't until she started doing some of these homework assignments that she was able to really transition herself into feeling empowered again and out of that, really uplifting her emotional state she shared. So what you're about to go through here is an opportunity for you to do the same. Drop down excited if you're excited about that. If you are ready to truly make some shifts in your life. Yes. Oh, let me open up the chat again just so I could see it. Excited. Yes, you're relating. Awesome. So here's what I'm going to share. As I go through this work today and through the rest of the week, realize that there might be concepts or thoughts or things that are you're confused about or may not understand. And I want you to give yourself permission to truly allow yourself to trust the process this week. And to give you extra support with that, I'm offering you an opportunity. You see on the call here, we have Coach Angelica. Angelica has been training and working with me for years now. And what we're doing for those that take action now, is we're offering you a free call. It's worth $100, and we're giving it to you for free to help you get clarity, help you overcome any thinking or any blocks that's holding you back. It's completely complimentary, and it's completely here to support you for the week, right? So you get to have this call. You go to callwithangelica.com and you book clarity call. And that is a call for you to just be supported 100%. And we're going to go through some concepts today, and those that there are limited spots. I'm not even sure how many Angelica has, to be honest. And so there are limited spots. So we're going to go through some concepts, and you can simply ask her about some of the stuff we talked about today. We're going to talk about today. Or you can get clarity around on any challenge that's going on in your life. So I encourage you to book the call. You just go to callwithangelica.com. She'll drop the link in the chat for you. You can click it and open it into a new window, so it's there for you. And so that's a beautiful opportunity for you. So this week is about taking time for who? Who's this week about taking time for? Yes, you. And I want to share with you, if you're anything like me, stuff will come up. All of a sudden, the kids will need you. All of a sudden, work will be calling you. All of a sudden, family member needs your help. I want you to declare now that this is your time 100% for you. When things like that happen, that's what I call resistance showing up. It's something else pops up, and all of a sudden you can't stay committed. You get distracted. You're not able to play full out, so you're driving and listening, or whatever the story is, or something is more important. So I'm going to give you permission, not that it's my job to give you permission. You get to give yourself permission to show up for you. Who's committed? Drop committed in the comments right now. If you are committed to showing up for you this week and putting all the other things on hold for an hour and 20 minutes for the next 4 days. Yes. Awesome. That's awesome. And I know those that stay here, that play full out, you're going to have a big shift in your life. This is going to be an opportunity for you to gain more confidence, more self-love, better relationships, communication, beliefs to create abundance instead of lack, and to help you move forward. You're gonna leave here with tools and resources to help you create things you want in your life, whatever that is for you. So the fastest way to healing and really stepping back into your power is to reconnect with yourself. So let's start with a question. What is it? So let me do this. Let me just ground you for a second. So wherever you're at, just put your pen and paper down, close your eyes, take a nice deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in And out. One more deep breath together. And exhale. Just allow yourself to be in this moment. You may have thoughts running through your mind, or you may not. Either way, it's okay. There's nothing specific you have to do. And as you continue to breathe in and out on your own, you allow yourself just to connect with you. I'm going to ask you a question, and then you're going to answer it with one word. I'm going to ask you another question, and you're going to answer it with one word. And we're going to go through this process. And you're going to go through this process with your eyes closed until we're complete. Just allow yourself to be here, play full out. And if you could allow yourself to step into a feeling that you may felt in the past or you may never felt, but you have a desire to feel, what is that feeling? 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 And just take a minute and realize or write down the last two feelings. You can drop it in the chat and you can write it on a piece of paper for yourself. What is it that you want to feel? Oh, love it. Butterflies in my stomach. Love that, Laura. Happiness again. Yes, Linda, and you get to go through the grieving of your loss and allow, and then that will help you, and then you'll be able to step back into your happiness. And we can most certainly talk about that. Linda's been a client of mine. Okay. Any others want to share? What's that feeling? What's that feeling? So whatever that feeling is, happiness, peace, calm, whatever the one that stands out the most, we're going to declare that your magic feeling this week. And that's where we're going to continue to grow and step into. So whatever the one that stands out for you. So I mean, Laura, you had butterflies in my stomach happy. That could be the whole, like, that's the one feeling, right? You can keep it that way. But those that had three or more, like, just pick one. What's the one that stands out? Like, if I had happiness, maybe I feel calm and peace. Or if I had peace, I'll feel calm and happiness. So pick one that just is like this overwhelming sense of woohoo, like this is it. This is the one, right? And you're going to declare that. And I want to say this. You couldn't have desired this magic feeling if somewhere within you it didn't already exist. And the goal here is to provide you with tools and exercise and emotional releases to help you to stay on the path of keeping this present in your life. Right? So what happens is we have that desire, we have that magic feeling, and stuff happens in our life. And it starts to put what? Starts to just cover it up and push it down. And now we have to feel like we have to work to get there, right? We got to move through this and we got to move through that to allow that version of you, that happy or excited or calm version of yourself come forward. And I know this because I've worked with many women that have tried things to do that, have tried to unlayer so that they can be themselves, like counseling or or religion or therapy, self-help books, meditation, yoga, medication, exercise. What have you tried? What have you tried to help you? And here's the thing. I mean, I tried churches. I tried searching for a religion that was going to help me. I tried counselors, spiritual counselors, self-help books, therapy, hypnotherapy, friends. Anybody try friends? I've tried friends. Help me get out of this, right? I figured my friends might know better than me, but they just helped me stay where I was at because people like to complain, right? And then also women like to one up each other. Oh, I have this going on. Oh, you would not understand. I have this going on in my life, right? Yeah, friends like that. You share something that you're challenged with and you're authentically wanting help, and all of a sudden they got more stuff, they got more challenges, and they just share all their stuff. And then you go into this complaining pattern and you both try to outdo the other one with problems. And I just want to say this. I'm sure that you've had results with some of those things. Drop down results if you had some results, but they weren't long term because they were missing the three pillars of transformation. They were missing the three pillars of transformation. Yeah. I know I would go on a diet, lose weight, feel super great, and then I would be right back in the weight that I was. It was short lived. And I'm going to share with you because there's three common problems that I see that stop people from being their most authentic creative self and living in that magic feeling. And perhaps you know what I'm going to share with you, perhaps you don't. But if you don't know, or even if you do know, realize that after today, you're going to have enough knowledge to create change in your life. Because you may not know some of these things that help create transformation for long term. But after this week, guess what? Who's responsible for creating their own change? Yourself. And now I'm going to be giving you the tools and resources so that you get to choose how you want to show up. Those other programs, those other um, um, modalities miss the three pillars of transformation. They tend to focus on a problem that really isn't the problem. Meaning people think if they work on their weight, if they work on their time, if they fix somebody else, or if they change a relationship or fix a relationship, then their life would be better. The truth, anybody feel like that? Like if I just had more money, my life would be great. If I just had more time, my life would be awesome. Yeah, right? Like if people were just not mean, if the world was stopped at all this nonsense, I would be okay. Right? But the truth is, the what happens is you focus on areas of your life that are the symptoms of the problem, but it's not the root of the problem. I can't tell you how many times I thought my problem was weight. Anybody here battle with weight? Drop weight in the chat. Just curious. Drop weight in the chat. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And no matter how down I was never enough. But here's the thing. Yeah, menopause weight. You could call it whatever you want. It's just a pattern, right? We all have challenges. But the problem is, and here's the thing. I have spent tens of thousands of dollars on trying to fix my weight. How much have you spent? I'm just curious. How much have you spent on trying to fix your weight? Because I have spent close to $10,000. It starts with a gym membership or a specialty gym or this detox program or that detox program. Or, I've done different diets that cost money, right? Like I've done, you stop counting. It's insane. And here's the thing, and I want you to realize it's not your fault. It's because you bought into a system that has not given you the solution to the root. They're treating the system or the symptom of weight. Weight is the symptom. It's not the root cause of your problem. It's not the root cause of your problem. So you get to focus on the root cause of your problem. So for me, I battled weight up and down my whole life until I realized that I was treating the symptom, which was weight. And the problem was there was a belief deep rooted inside of me due to my sexual abuse that if I was skinny, I would be taken advantage of. So anytime I felt not safe or anytime I felt skinny, guess what? My subconscious, your subconscious mind runs 98% of your activities subconsciously. So if your subconscious mind has a different program than what your conscious mind wants, guess who's going to win? Put S if you think it's S for subconscious, or C if you think it's conscious. Yes. Yes. Because this runs 90%. So if I had this story of being scared to be skinny, no matter what diet program I was going on, guess what would happen? The moment I got skinny, I would start the subconscious. This is how powerful the ego would be like, oh, we don't like to feel skinny because skinny equals getting taken advantage of. So all of a sudden you'll get an injury, or all of a sudden you can't afford to go to the gym, or something happens and you get, you start to, the weight starts to creep back on. It doesn't have to be weight, right? The symptom could be a relationship. If I just left this man and had a new partner, my life would be better. No, because wherever you go, guess what? There you are. Anybody ever leave a relationship and just have the same relationship with a different person? Because it's not the relationship. It's the subconscious belief systems that you have that are creating this. You are a powerful creator. You just get to be, you're creating from your subconscious. So you get to, this week, we'll get to start to pull out what's in the subconscious so you can create the things that you want. Perhaps it's an addiction. One addiction to another addiction. Shopping addiction. I had an exercise addiction. I told you I was an exercise bulimic. And then I had a learning addiction. I just felt like if I continued to learn, it took me 8 years to go through a 4-year degree in college. Just like, oh, if I continued to learn, just one addiction to enough, because I never felt like I was enough. I had an alcohol addiction. Right? Then I had a friend addiction, codependency, people pleaser. If I just helped you with your problems and I was there for your problems, I wouldn't have to be dealing with my own problems. Anybody relate to that? You see, you keep yourself so involved in everybody else's problems. So you're addicted to problems. You're just going to find yourself with somebody else's problems and not your own. Right? So the truth is, if you do not work on the root of the problem, then you're working on the symptom of the problem, and the problem is just going to repeat and repeat. Drop down repeat if your problems continue to repeat. I mean, it's as simple as this. I took my son to the doctors a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago. He's a 10-year-old child. The doctor's like, oh, he's constipated. Treat him for constipation. I'm like, what's causing the constipation? Like, okay, yes, we can get him relief, right? But what's causing the constipation? I don't want to focus on the symptom. I want to get to the root. Otherwise, we're going to be dealing with constipation for years on end. You know what I'm saying? Everybody understand? Like you get to focus on the root. That's such a common mistake that I see so many people do is they don't focus on the true problem. Or here's number two, you think you can do it on your own. You think I don't need anybody's help. If I get help, I must be weak. That was my story. I was terrified to see a therapist or a counselor. I was like, I don't need help. I'm good. Only crazy people need help. That was my thought process. Not that it's true. But here's the truth. And I want to be completely transparent. You can absolutely make a change on yourself by yourself. I just will tell you it's the longest path to your happiest self. It's a lonely path. And when you have a guide, a coach or a mentor, a sisterhood that's supporting you and guiding you, you increase your transformation tenfold. So let's be honest here. How many of how many of you have a bookshelf of self-help books? Raise your hand or put books in the chat. Yeah, right? Have a whole boatload of self-help books. How many have you completed from start to finish? I'm just curious. Percentage. And how much money have you thought you've spent on self-help books? I can say none. I can say I've probably spent thousands, right? And here's what happens in the past when I would read books. I was like, I just need that magic bullet and I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna implement it. Right. And then it doesn't work because there's no guide guiding you. There's not enough support. And then you spend money, you're like, oh, it's the next book. The next book over here has what I need. Top secrets, 7 steps. And you read all these things and you think, oh my gosh, this is going to help me. But you're just spending what, 10, 15, 20, $25? And they're sitting on your shelf. And what happens is we get stuck in this thought that we don't know enough. And we continue to read and read and read. And we don't know where to go. And we get stuck in learning and not transforming. Who's ready to stop learning and transform? I can tell you this, you're going to do both this week. Right? So let's stop wasting money on self-help books or self-study programs or small, little programs where you just kind of put your toes in. Like, okay, I'll take a bite of that, maybe a bite of this. Right? Because they're not giving you the full transformation. They're not being there to support it. And the other thing I see is that this one's huge. This one is huge. Most modalities, when I say modalities, I can say energy healing, spiritual guidance, therapy, diets, workouts, mindsets, coaches. What happens is they only work on one part of you, your spiritual self, your mental self, your physical self, your mind. But the truth is you don't get results from this or long-term results because you don't experience things in one area. When you have an experience like my sexual abuse, that didn't just affect my mindset and my belief system. That actually was processed and landed inside my body. So when we go through experiences, we're not just taking it in on one level. We are multi-dimensional human beings. We have many layers, many different parts of us. So I don't care how much mindset work you do. If you don't release the physical trauma from your body, guess what? It's still there. In 2017, I fell and broke my jaw. And anybody break a jaw? Right jaw. I'm just curious if anybody broke their jaw. It was pretty scary in the sense of you have to have your mouth wire shut for a few weeks, but I manifested that my jaw was going to heal naturally, and it did. But what I'm sharing this because when I broke my jaw, I know to process all of this, right? Process the spiritual part of it, the mental part of it, the emotional part of it. I, however, did not realized that I did not release the physical trauma in my body till about 6 months ago when I almost tripped and fell on my face again. My whole body responded in the exact same way. So if you ever think of anybody go into a maybe a room where something didn't happen and all of a sudden you feel off, like there's this like like maybe you had a fight with a spouse and then you go back to that room and all of a sudden you're back tense, or maybe it's somebody that still creates that and you go into their space and you're all tense. It's because there's trauma still in your body. So of course I did the work and I released the trauma from my body. And I know when it's not there anymore because I don't have a physical response about it when yeah, when I talk about it, when I sense, allow myself to put myself back into that space. So you want to make sure that when you are working with something, you're not just working on one part of you. You are a body, you are a mind, and you are a heart or soul. Those words are interchangeable to me. And all things, happy things, sad things, frustrating things, overwhelming things, anxiety, it affects all parts of you. And therefore, to get lifelong transformation, you cannot focus on one part of you. So you get to focus on all part of you. So the three pillars of transformation are reprogramming your energy, emotions, chakras, and your subconscious mind. That's part one. Basically, it's your energy, and I'll share what that means. So you want to develop a deep sense of connection with yourself. You want to develop. So if we're looking at where do we get to look at spirituality, we want to look at and connect deeply with yourself. And I don't mean in a religious way. It can be your religion, but what I mean is this connection with your heart and receiving guidance from whatever your higher source is, whether it's nature, whether it's God, whether it's Buddha, whether it's whoever or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. But when you develop, see, the pillar is developing your deep connection with your higher self. And when you do that, you surrender. Anybody know what it's like to live surrender? That means there's no more doubt. Lynn, we're going to go through some processes to help you transform, release the trauma from your body. You let go of doubt when you surrender. You let go of feeling like you have to do it on your own because you're being guided and directed. It's easeful and it's fun and it's flowing, right? So the first pillar is reprogramming your energy, your emotions, your chakras, your subconscious mind. And we're going to be diving into the pillars. The second one is developing your deep connection with your higher self. And the third one is being part of a sisterhood or a community or accountability, a tribe that's going to empower you. Women were not meant to do life alone. It's actually encoded in our DNA to work in community. So this is why I developed our technique called transformative neuro Reiki, is because I tried everything else. I tried the diets, I tried the counselors, I tried the hypnotherapists, I tried books, I tried friends, I tried it all. But I wasn't getting anywheres. I'd have these small little wins and then I'd be back right where I was. So we're going to talk today about we're going to go through some transformative neuro Reiki processes. And I'm going to strongly encourage you to come to the class live Friday, where we do our transformative neuro Reiki healing. And so not just talk about, you're going to be doing different healings all the week, but that's a really great process to be healed. And to be honest with you, it's the last time I'm giving it for free to take advantage of it. And so you want to be able to transformative neuro Reiki is the fastest way to help you gain clarity around you, your desires, who you are, who you're meant to be, to create the miracles in your life, to live your magic feeling. It not only allows you to clear out negative thinking and doubt, but allows you to reprogram your mind and your energetic body. And we're going to talk about your energetic body today, to attract the things that you want in life, reconnecting you back to your heart so you can truly live happy and joyful. And it's a step-by-step process where we clear out the old, we create the new, and we bring forth insight. Sometimes we get stuck in where you are right now because you can't see where you want to go. Drop down, save a word, fog. If you feel like you don't know where you want to go, you don't really have, like, there's something bigger for you, but you don't know what it is. There's lack of clarity, right? Like, it's like, I want this. I know there's something bigger for me, but there's too much junk and shit and stuff stuck on me that I can't see what I want. So today we're going to get you tuned in to start clearing out. So we follow a step-by-step process. We cannot clear out. And I can't tell you what your fog is. I could tell you what my fog is because it's me. But you have everything within you. You are your own healer. My job this week is to help you determine, to help you, to guide you, to open you up so that you can see what's possible and where you get to heal and work, right? So we get to tune in. So these 4 days is a step-by-step process of releasing the past, tuning in, releasing, and stepping into the version that you want to be. And then we wrap it all up with a healing to integrate all the work we do all week, right? So today, let's talk about the power of tuning in, because you cannot make change without tuning in. You cannot make change unless you know what's going on. And I have to be completely transparent with you. This was one of the scariest parts for me because I did so much to tune out, to live outside of me. That's why I had an eating disorder. That's why I drank when I was around people. That's why I had people with lots of problems, so I didn't have to deal with my own problems. Right? So you get to when you live outside of yourself, what happens is, so you can tell if you're not tuned in. If you're living outside of yourself, you feel disconnected, you feel lost, you don't know who you are. You have, I'll say, challenges, either relationship challenges. You don't have fun. You don't put you put everybody else before you because God forbid you get to give yourself some time to figure out who you are. There's a lot of tears in this room because I can feel them. So I know that this is landing for, if the stuff I'm saying is landing, right? Landing in the chat, because I can feel your energy with me tonight. And so you get to get out, and what happens is when you're disconnected, you live in the world of shoulds. I should do this. I should do that. I should do this. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I won't. I'll think about that. Right? You start overthinking, second guessing your choices. And what happens is when you're not tuned into yourself, you start to live in what I call the martyr or victim role. And you live in the world of hurt, anger, frustration, overwhelmed, afraid to take actions, afraid to do things for yourself. I know this because guess what? That's where I lived for 30 some years. You live life for everybody else. Resentment builds up, anger, stress, anxiety. Just like me, where I was years ago. So you want to look at how you can tune into your wants, tune into your desires. Women are so powerful. When you actually begin to own you and your gifts, you can do more than anything just with your energy, just with your thoughts, because your essence will be this like beautiful sense of receiving that people will just want to come to you. And then you get filled up and you get to bring that to others. It's a beautiful relationship. Beautiful relationship. Okay. So you're going to be tuning into you. Who's like, oh shit, I really don't know if I want to know what's going on in my body. Write down shit. If you're like, I don't know if I actually want to go on in here and realize what's in my body, what's going on. I might be feeling a little bit scared and overwhelmed right now. And you might actually feel like this is impossible. I was a professional number. I was so good at numbing out all my pain that I showed up happy. Nobody knew that I was so hurting inside because I showed up with a smile on my face, right? So I remember uh feeling so scared to tune into myself. I mean, I was so disconnected that I had that eating disorder, and my coach at the time, she told me just to eat when you're hungry. If you're anything like I was, I had no freaking clue when I was hungry because I was eating for happy, sad, lonely, tired, frustration, hunger, boredom, celebration, like for celebrations, or let's just have a picnic, or let me bake, right? I would eat all the time. So when you're disconnected from yourself, you don't know what's going on. I had a client, it reminds me of someone that I worked with because I'm not, she doesn't like me to share her name, so I'm not going to share her name. But she lived by her Apple Watch. She went to bed when her watch told her, she ate when her watch told her. That is living a disconnected life. And that puts you in either being puts you in the victim mode, like everything is happening to you. For her, it put her emotions all over the place. Like she didn't even know when she needed to go to the bathroom. That's how disconnected she was. So you must tune into yourself. You must tune into what lies in your subconscious. So this week is going to be eye-opening and it's going to be work, but I can tell you it's worth it to play, to let yourself see and uncover your hidden stories, your buried feelings, your processed emotions in order to do that. And in order to do that, you must tune into you. That's how you release the guilt, the overwhelm, the frustration. So I want to talk tonight about a way to do this. So tonight's class is about tuning in. Tomorrow we're going to be all about releasing, right? So today we're tuning in. Tomorrow we're going to go through a big, huge release process, right? So I look at there's certain things that help you tune in. So I'm going to give you, like, I'll say 4 ways, and then I'm going to share a system with you that I use with my clients that's super, super powerful. Many people use this system, but I look at it, work uh, with this system in a little bit different way, and I'll explain that in a minute. So one of the things, let me ask this. I'm going to see a bigger picture of y'all. Let me ask this. Who here keeps themselves really busy? Either busy in their mind, busy doing, because if they're sitting still, it's uncomfortable. It could be busy, like scrolling on social media. It could be busy with anything. So if you keep yourself busy, write down busy. Or like distracted, I'll say. So this is going to be super, super powerful. Yeah. Okay. So there's a tool that I use, and it's going to seem, so I wanted to share. To create lifelong transformation, it's small, consistent steps. So everything I share with you are small bite sizes that are so doable. Like I was doing this when I was home, like I started learning these techniques when I was homeschooling 3 kids, still nursing 1. As a stay-at-home mom, I was super busy, right? So by implementing some of these things throughout my day, I was able to start to really sink into my body. So the first one I absolutely love is called heart-centered breathing. It's where you place your hands on your hearts. This alone actually begins to release endorphins. Anybody know what endorphins do for you? They make you happy. right? So everybody take your hands, place them on your heart, close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in and out. And just allow this to be the slowest, deepest breath you've ever taken. And exhale, feeling good. And just notice one thing about you right now. And then open up your eyes and just drop down for yourself what you noticed. Could be anything. Could be I felt lighter. I felt more peaceful, calm. It could be my mind was still racing. It could be anything. That's tuning in, right? Doesn't mean you always have an, a positive experience. When you tune in, if you're feeling crappy and you tune in, guess what? You're going to feel the crap. But you got to feel it to release it. You don't have to live there. I will say that is a big misconception that you have to live in the crap. You do not. You get to move right through it. So heart center breathing is one way to tune in. The second is sitting in stillness and quiet. Who here can sit in a very quiet room and be comfortable? I know I couldn't. I would be like counting down the minutes. I'd be like, what's next? What's next? Right. So this is a practice that I started doing at like 2 to 3 to 5 minute increments. And then I can sit quiet up to 45, 30 minutes, an hour now. But that's because I practice. When you sit quiet, the mind will go. And then all of a sudden, you'll start to see a pattern within your mind and the way you feel. And then you get to ask yourself a question like, what is it that I get to learn here? Right? Because your body's talking to you. And I'm going to talk more about that in a second. So, sitting still, being quiet is another great way to tune in. Another one is like grounding yourself using your five senses. So, right now, just tell me um, something you see. Just notice. Notice how many shades of green you see, or purple, or orange. Tell me, what do you feel? Maybe it's the clothes on your skin. Maybe it's uh, your finger, skin to skin, like hands on hands. Maybe it's your hair on your head. Notice if there's any smells. Perhaps you hear something outside of my voice. Maybe you have a taste. Maybe it's dinner that you tasted, or maybe it's something that you want to taste, like you haven't had dinner yet. So using your five senses is a great way you can come back and, is a great way to ground. It's a great way to become present. And I do that all the time. I pause and do that outside all the time. Being outside is a great way to ground. Meditation. And I want to say to you, meditation, there's many forms. There's that stillness and quiet meditation. There's guided meditation. I just did a visual meditation where I was looking at something today and listening to something. There's a walking meditation, there's affirming meditations. So you get to discover what type of meditation you like. I exercise, and meditation is anything that puts you into the present moment. Some people like the color, or artwork could be meditative, or exercise could be meditative. It's like there's nothing else you're thinking of. It's just that. And so that's meditation, and that allows you to come into yourself. And the last one is learning your chakras. And we're going to dive into this one because I find this to be the most powerful way to tune into yourself is understanding your chakras. Write down chakras if you had some work or have some knowledge around chakras. And I want to say this, when I work with the chakras, we work on all parts of you, your energetic body, your emotional body, your physical body, all of the things that I shared. So if you haven't worked with a chakra or know what a chakra is, don't worry. You just to be open and curious about this. Oh, yes, with Val. Cool. And so you get to stay open. You get to be curious about what it is that we're going to talk about tonight. So a chakra is an energy vortex that is connected actually to your spine, and it goes around your physical body. And when your chakras are balanced, just think of this like if you have an acupuncturist, they work on your meridians to bring harmony. A chiropractor works on your spine to bring you in alignment. Chakras, you get to work on your mental field, your emotional field, your physical field to being in alignment. So imagine doing all of that at one time. Like that's complete transformation, right? So what we're going to do before I go into each chakra, I'm just going to take you through a short process because I'm curious as to what you feel. So right now you're gonna rub your hands together like this, right? Um, and then close your eyes. You can stop rubbing, but just close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Another deep breath in and exhale. And now take your non-dominant hand and just hover it over your head, the top of your head. You can do it 1 inch to 5 inches, whatever feels good to you. And you're just going to take it from the top of your head and you're going to take it down the front of your body. And you're going to go slow in a second. Hold on 1 second. Excuse me. And as you take your hand down in a second, you're just going to notice if you feel anything different in your hand. Maybe there's a tingling, maybe there's heat, maybe there's a magnetic pull, maybe there's just a sensation, maybe there's a like, oh, a feeling within you that was like, oh, this part of my body is talking to me. Maybe you hear something, maybe you sense something, maybe you see something. Just notice as you take your hand down now, down through the front of you, like down past your forehead, the front of your face, in your own timing. You're just going to take it down past your throat, your heart, like your chest, your stomach, your pelvic area. And you're just going to notice what you feel in this moment. What did you feel? Where did you feel, if anything? If you didn't, don't worry about it. If you did feel something, where did you feel it? Drop it in the chat. If you didn't feel anything, drop nothing. Write the word nothing. Remember, no bystanders here, only participants. Tingling in my heart, solar plexus, sacral heart. Relaxed a little bit. Oh, cool, Linda. Throat. Very cool. Okay, so you get to, that is going to be chest area. Okay, so we're going to talk about each chakra. So that was your body energetically telling you something, right? There's that part of your body was energetically saying, okay, you get to look at this area. Now I'm going to go through each chakra and share with you what each part of your body represents so that you can look at it mentally and emotionally, right? So your chakras, let me just say this, when your chakras are balanced, there's just a flow. Things are easeful and fun and light and joyful. When they're out of balance, you have the anxiety, the stress, physical dis-ease in your body, discomfort, doubt, overwhelmed, all that stuff, right? And you can get blockages in your chakras through hanging around negative people, from being negative, from trauma, physical trauma, emotional trauma, mental traumas, chemicals, drugs. Those are just to name a few, like accidents, like where you fall or something like that. And so when the chakras are out of balance, each one indicates something different for you. So let me give you an overview, because today and into tomorrow, you're going to you're going to do some exercises, right? So that you can start to help yourself understand. So the first the first chakra we're going to talk about is the root chakra. The root chakra is located in your pelvic area, and it is associated with your legs, your knees, your feet, your ankles, anything like that. So if you have any physical challenges going on with your root chakra, you want to pay attention to this one. The root chakra is about feeling secure. It's about feeling balanced, stable. I'll say present, like grounded into the moment. You can tell if this is out of balance if you're running all over the place, your feet don't want to stay on the ground in one spot, or maybe your feet won't leave the ground and you feel stuck in the mud, like there's no movement in your life. Or you can have anxiety, eating disorders start in the root chakra. Um, if you have, I'll say, poor relationships with money or time, your root chakra is speaking to you. So write down root if you feel root is talking to you through what I just shared. And so to help balance your root chakra, and we're going to talk a little bit more, I'll be sharing a big tool with you on Thursday around the root chakra. Root chakra is all about being present. So that exercise that I just took you through with the 5 senses is a great way to help balance your root chakra, or being outside in nature, walking barefooted. I will share this. As a busy mom, I didn't always have time to do all these things, right? So I had to be creative. And I actually thought it wasn't creative, but I had to get creative. So I do know that every morning when I wake up, I have to go to the bathroom, right? That's like the first thing I do. So I'm like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine when I'm walking to the bathroom that my foot is grounding into the earth, and I'm going to ground with each step, and just imagine as I'm walking to the bathroom that I'm grounding into the earth and into the moment, so that I can be grounded for the day, right? Not punished, just grounded. So I like to find things that I could do that are in conjunction with other things, because I don't want a to-do list. Who here has a big to-do list and you're like, I don't need any more to-do list? So I like to incorporate things. You can even do it in your shower, just like with the water falling on you. It's like grounding you into the earth, watering you, planting you, and you could do that. Being in nature, barefooted, outside, that heart-centered breathing that we did too, with our hands on our heart, is a great tool for your root chakra. The second chakra tonight that we're going to talk about is the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is about creativity and fun. However, if you lack creativity or you lack fun, it's because it houses your emotions, right? So if you do not process your emotions, who here numbs out their emotions or just ignores their emotions? Yeah. So your creativity and fun is not existent, right? Probably very small and few and in between. So to help your sacral open up, you get to allow yourself to have fun and be creative. Tomorrow, we are doing a whole emotional release process. So if sacral is speaking to you, you're going to want to tune into tomorrow. But in the meantime, what you can do is figure out something that you can do creatively tomorrow. That's going to start to open up and balance your sacral. You can tell if your sacral's out of balance if you're super emotional or have no emotion. If you're bored and have no fun, if you have physical problems with your lower back, your lower stomach, or even your feminine organs, like your menstrual cycle, or if you had problems around birth or in the birthing, or problems with having creating birth, babies, pregnancy. Jesus, Brenda, get it out. So that could be that's your sacral. When your sacral's balanced, you're flexible, you're in the flow, you're fluid. Like where the root is stuck, this is like, so if you're all over the place, that could be too far unbalanced. But if you're just in the flow and you're going with the flow and things are like, woohoo, this is good, then that's balanced. So finding something creative to do. And I'm going to challenge each and every one of you, and everybody that does this, I'm going to give a special prize to. In our Facebook group, the universe likes speed, right? The universe likes people that take action. You get to tell your subconscious mind that you're serious about transformation. I encourage you to take a picture of whatever tool you're using tonight and post it in our Facebook group. It could be a picture, it could be a video, but allow yourself to fully engage here. Allow yourself to step out of your comfort zone, because that's where transformation happens. So the next one is your so your sacral is just below your belly button. Your solar plexus is the next. It's associated with the color yellow. So you could wear these colors, by the way, to help the each area. Your solar plexus is just below your breastbone. So any upper digestion, mid back stuff is all solar plexus. When your solar plexus is balanced, you feel confident, you feel strong, you have a lot of energy, you know who you are, you're empowering. When it's not balanced, you lack confidence or you're egotistical, like you're always right. With me. I am always right. Nobody knows better than me, right? Or you're the complete opposite. Like you question everything. You're like, oh, I don't know. Like there's a lack of self-esteem, a lack of confidence, low energy, low like drive, like the desire to do something. That's solar plexus. So drop in if sacral or solar plexus is talking to you. Drop in the chat. I'm just curious as to where we're at. Yeah. Let me take a sip of water while you do that too. Then you have heart. Heart is about forgiveness. The heart is the chest area and your arms and your fingers. Does not include your shoulders, but anything down. And so it's all about trust and unconditional love. It's about giving and receiving. So if you have any problems with your physical heart or your hands or your arms, this chakra is out of balance. When it's in balance, there's this beautiful flow of openness, of vulnerability, of sharing who you are. And if it's blocked, you're guarded, maybe even like have trust issues because you don't know if you can trust anybody, or you're holding on to a lot of anger and resentment. Anger can also fall in the solar plexus, but if you're holding on to a lot of anger and resentment around things and things or people or places that have hurt you, then that affects your heart chakra. It's associated with the color green as well as pink. So wearing that color, but there is good for you if the heart is speaking to you. But there's this beautiful prayer, a forgiveness prayer. It's called the Ho'oponopono, Ho'oponopono. And we'll drop it in the chat. And that prayer can actually help without having conversation with someone that's still heavy on your heart. That prayer can help release the energy around it. It's a super powerful prayer. And what I'll do is I'll put in the Facebook group a little description about it and the actual prayer so that you can have it. Okay. And if the heart is speaking to you, you can then use that tool. The next one is your throat chakra. Your throat chakra is the color light blue. This is about boundaries. This is about saying yes when you want to say yes and no when you want to say no. And both yes and no are complete sentences. They do not need any further explanation. The throat chakra is being able to share your thoughts, share your beliefs, to be expressive of who you are. So the tool that I'm going to encourage you to use, if your throat chakra is open, you have no problems expressing. You have no problem saying what you want. I'll give you an example. of holding back. There was last year I went to this restaurant and I ordered a salad with no cheese. But there was a huge table of us and it was like a fixed menu, but I just asked not for any cheese on mine. And I got served and it had a ton of cheese on it and there was 10 other people. So I was waiting to see if the salad, somebody else got my salad, right? And so nobody else got my salad. Everybody had cheese. So I started to pick off the cheese and somebody said, you can ask for what you want. And I was like, oh, yeah. Like, why am I settling when I ask for a salad with no cheese? Right? That's a throat chakra. That's being able to express what you truly want. I mean, that's a very simple explanation. So tomorrow, if your drop throat is, if throat is you, um, and if it is, tomorrow you get to practice saying no and holding that boundary. Okay. The next one is your third eye. This is associated with the color purple or indigo. This is about having a vision of who you are. It's about your self-talk. It's about being able to visualize where you want to go and what you want to be. So if your third eye is blocked, you don't know who you are. You don't know what you want. You have negative self-talk. And so the antidote for that, or the exercise you get to do, is develop a list of at least 10 to 20 affirmations that support you on where you want to go. Where you want to go. I do have a video on affirmations. I can drop that in the Facebook group too. I'll give that to you guys too. So it's a way to use affirmations so that you actually believe them and they sink into the subconscious. Okay. Super powerful. So the last one is your crown chakra. Your crown chakra, when that is balanced, you feel connected, you feel guided, you feel like the full surrender, full trust in what's happening in your life, because you totally know that you're being guided and directed. So if you feel disconnected, you feel lost, even depression can come from this, then you want to work on your crown chakra. And I highly suggest you detox some of your thoughts through meditation. I would suggest starting with guided meditation. It's one of the best ways to help your crown chakra. Okay. So out of all the ones we blocked on everything, I'm glad you brought that up, Laura, because that's actually a common thing that I get. And I want to say the truth is, when we have one or two chakras out, so say my heart chakra is unbalanced, the energy vortex has to pull energy down from the other chakras and up from the chakra below to help support the heart chakra. So now it's affecting the throat chakra and it's affecting the solar plexus. Because then now, if this is feeding the throat chakra and the heart, it's now going to pull energy from the third eye down to start support this. Then it affects the third eye and the crown. Do you understand? So the answer is, when one is out of balance, it starts to affect the other ones around you. So I would look at the one or two that stands out the most. And I'm going to ask, when you went through your chakra with your hand, where did you feel the energy? And I would actually start there, because that's your physical body. Our body is our biggest messenger. And if you didn't get a feeling when you felt when you did the scan, I want you to know, when I first did that exercise, I was like, this woman's crazy. I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything. She must be crazy or smoking something funny. And I was like, this is not like this. I don't know. But I had been so disconnected and I had numbed out so much of my feelings that was a metaphor of how closed off I was. I'm not saying for you, if anybody here has numbed everything, like you didn't feel anything, I'm not saying that's what your definition is, but you get to ask yourself, what is it what's causing me not to feel? And I realized then it was disconnection. So I started to use some of the tools that I just shared tonight, and I started to open up, and then I could start to sense. And not only could I sense, then I would start, like, the more opening I got, then I start to hear messages from God or the universe, whatever you believe. I believe in God. And so, I started to hear messages from God and the universe, and my intuition started talking to me, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Cause I started out feeling nothing. But as you start to go through this, and start to really hone in on your chakras on many different levels. So tomorrow we're working on releasing emotions. So we're going to be working on your sacral tomorrow, right? Today we're talking about tuning in. We're working on your root chakra. So we're going to progress through the week. Okay. So I would love for you to drop in the chat. What did your chakras telling you? I know that you've identified what chakras are off, but what did it tell you? Did it tell you that you get to work on your heart because you're holding on to resentment? Did it tell you that you get to work on your sacral because you blocked your emotions? I don't know. What did it tell you? I would love to hear. What do you feel your chakras told you tonight? And at the same token, what chakra are you going to work on tomorrow during the day before our class so that when you come in, you can share what was working for you? So here's where I want to remind you that you get to have a call with Angelica. Wrote your voice. Yes, that's awesome. And I think you had a question. What would that include your arms falling asleep? Your arms falling asleep would be associated with your heart. Yes. Sacral because I'm blocked emotions. Heart because I don't forgive easily. Yeah. So now you get to work on those two tomorrow and start to do the exercises that I shared to start to unblock the energy there. And if you want further clarity and you want further assistance, take advantage of this free call with Angelica, who's going to help you get clarity around either your chakras or questions or thoughts that you had from here. So your growth work today is to pick an exercise from today. And if you have questions around what exercise to do for this chakra that you're going to work on, drop it in and I'll help you now. And then post a picture in our Facebook group. Those that post a picture will get a special gift from us tomorrow. And so you want to post your picture of you doing whatever growth work that you are working on. So tomorrow you want to tune in and, I give you want to tune in because we're going to do an emotional release exercise. But there, Tiffany, who's a person I worked with, she had a challenge with relationships. One in particular that was this person was important in her life, but she was triggered every time she talked to this person. And she used all the tools in our process, but the one that she focused on the most and happened to be her favorite was the Ho'oponopono. And just by using this one process alone, helped her shift her relationship so that she can have easier, more effective, and open conversation with this person where all they did was fight in the past. She was also able to move forward in a dream that she had of being her own boss and starting her own business. That was something she thought was pie in the sky. But now she's been in business for 2 years because of the stuff she's learned here and also in my Fear to Freedom program. So these small tools that I'm sharing with you create big changes. Big changes, and you get to focus on the 3 pillars of transformation to have lifelong transformation and get off that emotional roller coaster, the up and down, up and down, up and down. That was like Maria. Her emotions were all over the place. She didn't trust life. She didn't trust her process. And using these tools helped her trust her intuition to find her voice and be okay and connect with who she was, overcoming her fears. So remember what I shared earlier. It's not about learning. You are missing the boat if you do not take action on what I shared with you tonight. Because action plus knowledge equals transformation. Don't be a bystander. Don't stay stuck in knowledge. That's what a bystander does. They get stuck in learning. Take action. Take action on something that you learned tonight. Because that's what's going to help you propel yourself, participate in your life. Post it in the Facebook group. We've shared the link a couple times here already. If you have challenges and you don't know, drop in. I'm still don't know where to go for the Facebook group, and we'll guide you. So tomorrow we're going to dive deep into your emotions because your emotions attract the things into your life. So we want to know what's going on deep down. It's a breakthrough day. It's a must attend from start to finish. So you come ready to play full out, ready to get uncomfortable, because on the other side of feeling uncomfortable is freedom. Freedom. It reminds me of Judy. When she came to me, she had so much judgment. She did not want to play full out. She was blaming and resentful, and you didn't want she was such a people pleaser. She was a caregiver, and she got lost. So lost in so much in herself and in somebody else. And now she actually just shared a story in our Fear to Freedom class last night, that she went to a diner and she manifested a free meal. Like, this woman is retired on a fixed income and she manifests money like I've never seen anybody else do. Like, it's just like whatever she needs, it comes right to her. But none of that was happening when I first met her. She didn't even have a voice. She talked like this. Like she had closed off so much of herself. Or you can or Jen, who tell me if you relate to Judy. Drop Judy, and if you can relate to losing yourself and taking care of others, blaming everybody else for your problems, or blaming everybody else for your problems, and want to be a money manifester like her. She literally gets checks in the mails randomly. Or perhaps like Jen, she was letting her life pass her by. She was a total bystander, overweight, not trusting herself. Now she's living a life in full trust and believing in herself. She released 30 pounds, living, feeling confident, letting go of the stored up emotions. Or perhaps like Rosemary, that lost her voice, lost her confidence. She actually would bring her, she was a social worker, and she brought her work home with her. She didn't know how to set a boundary and let work be work and life outside of that. Now she found her confidence. She found her inner voice. She loved being part of a sisterhood. So if you're ready to have a breakthrough day tomorrow, tune in to our Zoom link here, same one, 7:30 tomorrow, where you can access that magic power, that magic feeling. We're going to really work on creating that magic feeling. Tomorrow, Thursday, is all about rediscovering your true story and stepping into your potential and seeing how to create your future. Friday is a bonus healing where we do a deep connection with your chakra system. Saturday and Sunday, I have some bonus trainings for you. So make sure you take action tonight. You can drop any questions here. In fact, you can drop any questions in the Facebook group. But I would love for you to drop right before we sign off. What has been your greatest takeaway? What has been your greatest takeaway tonight? Before you drop off, drop it in here now. Let me see. What's been your greatest takeaway tonight? And if you have any questions, you can send them to team@brendakiss.com and we will answer them. The chakras, awesome. The heart, well, it makes sense, Linda. You're grieving. Absolutely. That I can truly find myself. Yeah. And who I am again. You totally can. 100%. So I want to thank each and every one of you for coming tonight. It's been an amazing evening. I can't wait to continue. Be more balanced. I can't wait to continue this week with you. So if you have any questions, post them in our group. We're here to support you all week. Make sure you go grab your call with Angelica, callwithangelica.com. And I can't wait to see your post in the Facebook group. And be the first one. Challenge yourself to be the first one. Be the first action taker. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.